Hey, how's it going, everybody? Scott Spreitzer here with Doug Upstone. We are DocSports.com. We're talking some NBA playoff action on Friday. It is the Sixers and the Hawks series tied at 1 game apiece. Philly laying 1 to 1.5 in this one as we speak. Total 224.5. Joel Embiid has been fantastic so far, Doug. He's been terrific in this series. 79 points, 22 boards in the first two games combined. Game one, really all about the sizzling hot Atlanta Hawks. Philly struggled from the three-point line. They were 10 for 29. They also missed 11 free throws, which put them in a bad situation when the other team is hitting from everywhere. What they did in game two, Doug, they put Simmons basically for the full game on Trae Young. They held Trae Young to 21 points in that game, 6 of 16 shooting. So, if you like the side of this one, and I'm talking in general, then you got to decide if McMillan, with the players he has, and the Hawks themselves are able to make that adjustment for game three, for maybe trying to free up Trae Young in different ways.
Yeah, I agree. I think it makes it that's if we knew that, Scott, we'd be all good, right?
Absolutely.
But obviously, I think they're going to play better at home. Okay, I think that's a given. They have been so strong at home, so I think that we'll get that now with the adjustment and how they'll adjust. I think it makes it a harder call. So I'm more interested, Scott, in the total in this one. And you mentioned the 224.5. And what has stood out to me so far is Atlanta has allowed over 50% shooting in both games. And that's going to be a big problem, especially since inside the 2-point arc, Philadelphia is shooting 55.2% against Atlanta. So if Atlanta has any designs on trying to obviously win this game, which they do, they're going to have to play better defense. Okay, so that's going to have to be their key. Now, Philadelphia has shown that they can, stop Atlanta this season. In 3 of the 4 games, they've held them to 104 points or less. And I'm just looking at the total here, Scott, and I'm thinking the under here. And I can back that up in part by looking at some of the angles here, where Philadelphia is 15-5 under on the road after playing a game in which there was an under, and they're 12-4 under when favored by 6 points or less in away games. So that's my thing. So I think what I'll just do is maybe grab a Foster's Lager and go down under on this one. So what do you think,
Well,
Scott?
I'll have a Heineken. You can do Foster's. I'll take Heineken. What do you say? Listen, I'm looking at the total also. I will say this. The Hawks have covered 6 in a row at home against the Sixers for what it's worth. Philly, by the way, have only covered 6 of the last 26 on the road against teams playing better than 600 basketball at home. But this one is about the total for me too. And we don't talk before we shoot these videos other than to say, here's the game we're going to talk about. But we're in agreement on this one. I like the under. And a lot of times in game 3 of a NBA playoff series, I look towards the under. And with the thought of, I'm going to find reasons to play the under or I'm going to pass the total. Now, that doesn't always happen. There are times, a little bit rare, but there are times when I will look to the over in a game 3 clash. But you see both teams through 2 games making their adjustments, getting a little bit better on defense, getting that feel for the opponent. And a lot of times you'll see these games go on to the total in game 3. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here, too. I mean, Atlanta, everybody thinks as this blazing up and down the court, high-scoring team. Well, the books bake that into the cake, so to speak, and they're 8-2 to the under in the last 10 games. Philly 14-6 to the under in their last 20 on the road. And again, game 3 means more defensive adjustments. I think Simmons will still be tough on Trae Young. He might not go just 6 of 16, but life's going to be probably a little bit tougher getting him open looks than it was in game 1. So you and I are both in agreement. Again, the total sitting at 224.5 as we speak. And Doug and I both looking at the under in this game. And don't forget, you can get all of our NBA, all of our baseball, NHL playoff action, UFC on the weekend, NASCAR on the weekend, all that good stuff over at DocSports.com on our respective handicappers' homepages. And here's a cool thing about it. You see that little strip across the top of the video? It says get a free $60 account. Now, down below the video, you can click on that link. You can set yourself up for that free $60 account. And you can use the free $60 on any of Doug's daily packages, any of mine, anybody else on the roster at DocSports.com. It is as simple as that. For Doug Upstone, I'm Scott Spreitzer. We are DocSports.com. Let's put him in the win column.